Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Thursday, and as a special request, we are going to talk. We were going to talk a little bit about Doggy Coin. I guess it's Dogecoin or Doggy Coin. I can't remember. Anyways, actually, my intern here, Blaise Cardoza, has a has very good has played Doggy Coin to very good effect. He actually made $1,000 the other day, and so I've been trading it, but it's kind of a cool thing. A lot of people really like it, so I'm going to try to dive in there a little bit on it. But first, let's get to some of the numbers and kind of see how everything is going. It seems like today's been a tough day to trade. Of course, if you're on the Action Trade Alerts, you got my, we've put out a really nice trade on Roku, which I think is going to fall tomorrow. Don't know how it's going to play out, but definitely the market is, it's punishing a lot of the tech stocks. So, right now the sectors that are moving better are the non-tech sectors. What's happening is people are selling. Matter of fact, the funds are selling their tech issues, and they're moving it into other areas of the economy like mining and oil and gas. But here's today's market. This was taken just a few minutes ago. We're unfortunately we're below that key $14,000 level on the Nasdaq. And so what's happening is the Nasdaq is getting weaker. So the Nasdaq is getting weaker. The S&P 500 is sort of treading water. The Dow Jones is actually the star today. So basically what we have is a movement from the new tech economies into the old tech economies. That's kind of what's happening. And it's going to be a new world for a lot of people because they haven't experienced this. But that's one of the reasons I'm basically going short with some of my put trades, my bear put trades on many of the tech names that are announcing. So I'll be kind of going over some of that a little bit later in the show. But what I'm trying to do now is kind of show you the market direction, and that's so important. So let's go to let's go to the charts here and see if I can put something up here for you. Kind of really analyze sort of how the market is trading in general, and then go into it a little bit deeper here. So just get this sized properly. There we go. All right, and we're looking at the Nasdaq Composite. Let's look at that one first. I guess this is, yeah. My numbering system is all whacked, but there we go. Finally, now we're cooking. All right. Well, the Nasdaq is still sort of in this downtrend. Yeah, it just can't seem to. It's sort of like that old commercial. I don't even remember that. I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, that's sort of what's happening with the Nasdaq. So all the good stuff that's in the Nasdaq has not been performing all too well. All too well as of late. So is there an answer? Well, if you join my Action Trade Alerts, I may have an answer for you. But right now, the Nasdaq is moving lower. So that means that stocks like Microsoft and many of the other tech stocks are moving lower. Stuff like they're just all moving lower, and it's moving into a different side of the economy. Let me show you the S&P. See how that's holding up. This is the S&P 500 here, you can see, this is not nearly so broken down as the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is falling below this red line here. This is the 50-day line, but right now the Nasdaq seems to be holding its own basically at the 21-day. It's pulled back a little bit, but it's not necessarily nearly in the kind of issue that that some of the other indexes are. So right now there's a movement away from techs in Nasdaq type stocks into the other stocks. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy to follow me. Just take a look and go to this address, youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, and we're broadcasting live right now. Or you can go to my bio, hit the link, and be taken to the page. By the way, if you want to sign up for the free action trailer, it's super easy to do. Just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com. Just need first and last and an email address. You can be right on that list. And it's all free on that list. All right, so let's see if anybody is interested, and we get a first question. Oh, let me do this first before I get to the questions. Let's kind of go over to Dogecoin. I guess it's Dogecoin. Maybe it's Doggycoin. I don't know what. I don't know what it is. But let's take a look at the chart. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can get a chart for Doggycoin. So let's get that up. This was, interestingly enough, this was originally started as a joke by two engineers, but I guess it's not being a joke so much anymore. This is the last month's chart. As you can see, let's look at the volume spikes here. For some reason, there was a big volume spike about the 16th of April that corresponded with the movement up. But right now, I would probably be a seller of Doggycoin. And why? Because you can see the trend is it's pulling back from that volume. So Doggycoin is very related to the amount of volume that's being traded. Right now, the volume spikes is moving down, so therefore, the price of Doggycoin probably will move, probably at least in the short term, probably down a little bit lower, probably to about the maybe 50 or so level. But the way you read this chart is that you take a look at every time there's a spike in volume and it's ascending like this. So you don't look at the price chart. Look at the volume chart. Buy Doggycoin based on the volume that's being traded. If there's more volume being traded, it's going to move up. You can see how it corresponds there. So right now the trend of Doggycoin is going down. So therefore, at least in the short term, you probably want to be a seller or short it until it comes down to a lower level. And then if it spikes again, you want to be a buyer. So that's kind of how I would look at trading Doggycoin, at least for now. Let's see if I can get, I guess, don't know if I can, let's see if I can, okay, I guess my guest is not available, but Blaze Cardoza has been successful trading Doggycoin, and he made about $1,000 on it. Unfortunately, he can't come on the show today because of technical difficulties, but we're hoping that maybe in the future that he can do something like that. So just looking at it that way. So let's get to some of the questions that we have, and this is a question from Gunter. Hi, Jim. Don't know what is hurting most today, my stock account or my 400 and 400 euro speeding ticket. Wow, that's not so good. How would you what would you do to take would you buy the SQQQ or would you short Tesla? I wouldn't short Tesla. I would sell Tesla right now. I just think that you don't want to short Tesla. Tesla can be a bear if you get it wrong, and so it's just it's too painful to start. So what I would do is I would be selling my Tesla right now. And again, I've been out of Tesla for this is one of the reasons and I sound like God, such a broken record. I say, well, you should always have the 7% rule, and I really believe it. It's painful, but I really believe the 7% rule works well, because you never know kind of where you never know where where you're going to be. So let's look at Tesla first, TSLA, and I'm just going to want to show you this again. I've been warning for a while. I still love Tesla as a stock. I am not anti-Tesla at all, but it is not the place to be right now. It's just right now the market is moving away from the tech, the big Nasdaq stocks. The market is moving away from them. And what we have with Tesla is this overhead supply this overhead supply situation. And basically what's happened is that, and I'm just going to draw a line across here, everyone that bought here where I'm showing hasn't sold out yet. So they've been hanging on. It's been going down and then it's coming up. But now it kind of went up to the 780 rule, and immediately, as you can see, there was this red bar here. When it hit that 780, boom, everyone sold. Same thing is happening here. Basically, what's happening is it's coming up to this 50-day line here, and then when it approaches that 50-day line, then it's going to be selling. So right now, if I owned if I owned Tesla, I would consider possibly closing that position now, because every time it's coming up to this to the 50-day line, which is currently at about 687 or 685, and we're every time it's coming up to there, people are immediately selling off, and that's indeed what's happening today. As you can see, there's a lot of selling volume on Tesla, and it's just one of those things. I do believe that it's probably going to go back and it's going to test the 200-day line there, which is below 500. So I would consider it was about 580. And then I think probably when it gets to about this level, I think it will start moving higher. That's my guess. The current low, the current short-term low is 539 for Tesla. I do suspect when it gets to that range, it's probably going to bounce. It may bounce earlier than that, about 580, but in order to kind of, what I would do is if I would sell now and then wait, and then as it comes down to about the 580 level, it's probably going to move higher based on the chart that I'm looking at here. So that's my kind of my take on that's sort of my take on Tesla right now. It's very, very painful, I know, but I wouldn't short Tesla. I wouldn't short Tesla. And if you get on my, I do have some options for you. One of the things that I am doing with the action trade alerts is that I have trades that can make you money in this particular market. So let me just show you a trade that I just did. That I just did on Roku, and this is a bear put spread, and I'm just going to kind of show you that. Let's see if I can bring that up right now. This might be an alternative for you to make some money, and make it not quite as not quite as painful. This is, by the way, I put this out to everybody that's on the action trade alerts, and of course that's really easy to get on. So, you can subscribe to those free action trade alerts. Oops, there we go. All right, so it's easy to subscribe. By the way, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor for everybody that's watching on TikTok. But anyways, here's what I did today on Roku. Even though Roku is going to be announcing earnings earnings later on tonight, so I don't know if you can get in on this one. I suspect that even if the earnings are good, we're going to probably see it go down. So here's how I traded it. This is why, basically, it's just been a tough earnings season for a lot of the Nasdaq stocks. And so basically, here's the trade that I'm looking at. This should net, I believe, about $532 if the stock falls to 280 to 275. Basically, this is how you do the trade right here. This is how you do the trade, and this is kind of the expected return. And by the way, this is I sent this out right before the show to everybody that's on the free action trade alerts. But right now, Roku is trading about 280, and they're probably going to have very good earnings. But I don't think that the stock is going to move up. I think it's going to move down. Basically, it's showing here in this chart. So if it falls through this line, this black line here, from 285 to about 275, then this trade should work. So this kind of gives you how the estimated trade and returns. If you want to actually see the calculation, you can go to this address, http:/upcalc.com/UI and the N0. I know that's kind of complicated, but that's sort of a way that you can benefit from that kind of situation. So just wanted to throw that out there to everybody that's kind of bummed that we're having, this deal. All right, let's look at, thanks, Matt. Let's look at ASO and GT. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the charts for that right now. All right, and there we go. Academy Sports. These guys are doing great, by the way. They're kind of like Big Five. I guess I don't know if you have Big Five out there, but Academy Sports. This is very big in Texas because they sell guns. That's one of the things they're doing. They're doing very well. This is one of the best sectors. This is the retail leisure product sector. Now, if you're subscribed to my Gem Small portfolio, you'll know that I have a stock that's in this category. It's called it's HZO or Marine Max, and they sell boats, and people are just really liking those boats right now. But this one is doing very well. They came through earnings, and you see the relative strength line is moving very nicely on this. Let's kind of check this out. Why why would an Academy Sports do so well and a Tesla do so bad? Well, the reason is simple. The funds are moving their capital into this area of the market. That's what's happening. They're moving it into this area of the market. As you can see, the industry rank here is out of 197. It's number 6 on the list. So that's very, very, very strong. That's got one of the strongest ratings of all the sectors. Now, if we were to go back to Tesla, let's take a look at Tesla, TSLA. You'll notice that with Tesla, the automobile manufacturers are now 110 out of 197. Well, just a few months ago, they were number 1 and 2. So that's where the money was flowing in the market. Right now, the money is flowing out of stocks like this, out of like the Teslas and the enterprise software group, and it's flowing into some of the other areas of the market. Let me kind of pull this up and kind of give you a look-see on this. This is a listing of all of the sectors and which of the sectors is the best ranked. So let's see if I can go over there and get that up there for you. There we go. I'm closing down some of my other windows that I have that you save that. That's good. Okay, so here we are with the industry rankings and kind of seeing where we are. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort this from top to bottom. So here we go. Now we got from top to bottom. So I'm going to show you where the money is moving in this market. Of course, number 1, oil and gas royalty trust. Number 2 is an area that I really have been emphasizing. This is the U.S. exploration E&P on the oils. But if you'll notice, right down here, there's this retail leisure products group. And this is a really good place that you might want to look putting some of your money, because Academy Sports is doing great. And the question is, why? Well, it's a good stock. Don't get me wrong. It's a good stock. Pulled back a little bit today. But more importantly, it's a good area of the market. Let's kind of look at some of the stocks in there that are really good. One is Pool Corp. Another one is DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods. And then Hayward Holidays, Leslie's, Academy Sports comes in. It's about, the biggest is Pool Corp, but let's look at Dick's Sporting Goods right here. I always like to look at the leaders in a particular industry, because that's where you're going to make your money. Now, this is coming up on earnings in 20 days. So this is actually actionable right now. So if you missed Academy Sports, you might want to look at Dick's, because Dick's Sporting Goods is going to be going through earnings in about 20 days. And I think that we're going to see it move upwards. If you can see this blue line here, this is the blue line. This is the relative strength line. And as you can see, it's going up. Very nice. Also, the price is going up. Very nice. And the volume is good as well. We're way above the 200-day line. We're way above the 50-day line. We're above the 21-day, and we're above the 10-day line. This is one of the best places to buy a stock. So Dick's Sporting Goods, you might want to look at that one. If you're looking at Academy Sports. Let's look at GT. And look at that. So Matt, these are both very, very good. Very, very good. GT. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok and you want to ask a question, Super easy to do. Just jump on over, go to my bio, hit the link, and you'll see, and scroll down, and you'll see where I'm broadcasting on YouTube. It's easy to, if you get on youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, you can go right to the site and ask a question, and it comes right through to me, just like Matt's doing right now. Okay, so let's look at GT. This is Goodyear Tire and Rubber. Now, this is not as good a group as the leisure group. I think that your ASO call, Matt, is a better one, but this has been doing well. This is sort of a, this is right now in a buy zone. The buy point on a stage 2 cup with handle formation is a pivot of 1865. So you could buy this one right now. It's right in a pivot, and it's actually doing very, very well. It's as you can see, it's moved up above 15. So this is anticipating. Look at that. They just went through earnings here, and they were up 172% quarter over quarter. Let's kind of take a look and see sort of how their earnings have been running. And definitely, this is an old school, Akron, Ohio. Now look at this. Part of the reason why the capital is moving in here is because, as you can see, the sales have been dismal. And then all of a sudden, there's a reopening, boom, their sales are up 15%. So they're not only their sales up, but their profits are up 172%. So, so that is a big deal. Now we have a, now I'm going to go to the, let's look at my, at the TikTok feed. I can't take questions directly off of TikTok, but I can show you kind of what's going on in terms of that. So let's see. What did you say about Dogecoin? Okay, good question. Good question. What I said about it is that basically the way Dogecoin trades is that it trades basically on volume. So if you can see the volume for, basically what you do is if you can see the volume increasing on Dogecoin, that's where you kind of want to get in. So and then as the volume's moving lower, you want to get out. So let me put up a screen here for Dogecoin again. This is a live screen. See if I can make this work here for everyone. Hold on. Let's go to the Dogecoin screen. All right. So here we are. Basically, this is basically the coin markets site. Currently, Dogecoin is trading for 0.58. But what we want to kind of look at here, and I'm not going to be buying any right now, but my assistant is very good at trading Dogecoin. I'm still learning the ropes, but let's look at the. Did we get the? I'm trying to find the chart that I had. Let's see. Well, let's just go to the Coinbase chart. Pulling that up right now. There we go. Okay, so here we go, and yep, there we go. Okay, so right now, as you can see, and I was talking about it earlier, this is due to volume. Okay, you can see how it's trending downward as it is today. What you want to look at with Dogecoin is you want to look at how the volume is trending. It almost runs in a one-to-one with, with the volume. So let me kind of show you sort of how, if I was trading Dogecoin, how I would be trading it. I'm not currently trading it, so let me kind of give you a look-see on how to trade Dogecoin. All right. So if we go to, let's go to my, this is a slide that I had earlier today that I did. So I got to open it. All right. All right. Yeah. And basically the way I would be trading, as you can see right now, Dogecoin is going down. And the reason it's going down is because of this. This is the last month's chart for Dogecoin. This is the price action line here, the green line. But what you want to concentrate on is not this line. It's the volume spikes. if you'll notice, as the volume spikes, as the volume starts to move up, that's when you want to buy. And then as the volume moves down, it's gonna go down. Right now, today, the volume on Dogecoin is going down. So I would not buy this until I saw a reversal on the volume. If I see a reversal on the volume, like right here, then I would start buying Dogecoin. But currently, the trend for Dogecoin, at least in the short term, is downward. It is downward. Okay, somebody's saying on here. Here's the thing. Let me go talk to people on the site. You got to go to this site. And I'm actually showing you how to trade Dogecoin based on the volume. You've got to go to the youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. I know that I can't broadcast, unfortunately. I can't broadcast charts on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok and you want to kind of see what I'm doing, just jump over, go to my profile, jump over to jump over to YouTube, and then I'm actually broadcasting this live on YouTube. So kind of wanted to show you that. All right, so let's see. Can't see anything. Well, the reason you can't see anything is because, again, I'm not. Again, it's only available on YouTube, unfortunately. Only available on YouTube. Yeah, we see a green screen. Well, the reason you see a green screen is because that's what's being broadcast on TikTok. You've got to go over to you've got to go here, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, to see what I'm broadcasting. So thanks for that, and hopefully you'll consider doing that, because I am broadcasting there live. So you need to go over to YouTube in order to see that. Let's take a look at GEX and see if I can give you a good look-see for that one as well. So going over to GEX right now. All right, there we go. So it's also easier to see the it's easier to ask questions through YouTube and not through TikTok, unfortunately. So GEX. Is that right? GEX. No. GEX. I'm not showing that as a symbol, Andrew. I'm sorry. I can't get that one up for you. Apologize. Hello, Mr. Jim. Your thoughts on HAYW, new IPO, did pretty good on earnings. Well, let's see what sector it's in. Right now, earnings aren't moving the needle for many of these stocks. And the reason why is because the funds are investing in more other ones. So I know that this is going to change, that you're going to have to change your thinking a little bit in terms of what's good right now because of the way it's working. Well, it did spike up, but this is an IPO, and I probably right now wouldn't be in this one. Why? Because right now this is a little bit more difficult in an area right now. This is manufacturers and market swimming pool. Okay, so this is a good area right now because the leisure products are doing very well. So swimming pool equipment and associated automated systems. So this looks pretty good at 23. Let's look at pool. I want to look at pool though. POOL. This is also in the leisure products area. Yeah, there we go. Pool Corp. This is really the one I think you want to buy rather than this IPO. And the reason is because it's right at a buy point. This 401.29 is a buy point, and though the relative strength is moving down, it also went through earnings. It went up. It had excellent earnings, as you can see. It reported on the March 21st, and it reported very well, $2.32 a share, or 227% change in price. So that's kind of the stock that, you might want to look at it as opposed to the IPO. Not that I'm against the IPO, but right now the market is much more difficult. It's basically punishing a lot of the IPOs and rewarding the other ones. Let's look at Roku. Samuel, thank you. By the way, I have a bear put spread on this. I'm expecting Roku to move lower after earnings. We'll see if that happens. But the current chart for Roku is right here. Let's put this up. Yeah, there we go. So this is the current chart for Roku, and after hours, wow, it did go up. So I could have been all wet on this. It looks like it is trading up after hours, but it went down. Oh goodness gracious, I may be in a situation here where I've lost a little bit of money. So I hope that's not the case, but Roku did move up very, very fast after hours. So we'll see. We'll see kind of what's it's all kind of all over the place. So we'll see how it opens tomorrow. But it did. So I'm going to be probably closing a trade right now. I may have made a kind of an error on Roku, but we'll see. I have a few more days for it to turn around. So we'll see. It looks like it had excellent earnings, and a lot of people are buying it in after hours. So I may be in a situation where I have to close a trade tomorrow, which would kind of stink. But yeah, well, that's why I do spreads and I don't do naked trades. So interesting. All right. Um, all right. Okay. What's your worst experience in the stock market in terms of loss? I've definitely lost a lot of money in the stock market. I one day I lost $40,000 on Tesla, but I made $20,000 a day after that. So that's probably my worst experience, at least in the near term. So it's a tough market to trade. I'll be honest with you. It's a difficult market to trade. But that's why I do spreads and not another one. So I'll probably be trading. I'll probably be closing the Roku spread tomorrow. It looks like that's going to be the deal. Okay. What's specifically for volume a bid ask on? I don't know the answer to the question on that, Andrew. I'm just basically looking at public sites like Coinbase for the volume. That's basically what I've been doing. So that's kind of how I've been playing it. So my services don't cover those. Can you share your thoughts on miners like MARI? Let's take a look. MARA. Marathon Digital Holdings. I don't think this is a miner. I don't think this is a miner. It says Marathon Digital. This is a digital asset company. So I don't think this is a miner, Adam. I don't think it's a miner, but I can share with you another miner, FCX, which is Freeport McMoran, and I can share that one with you. But MARA is definitely not a mining company, unfortunately. So let's take a look at Freeport, and Freeport is doing very, very well because this is the area of the market that they're moving into in the market. So this is the kind of thing that that potentially is a good situation. So let's take the next question from Adam. That's miners. Hey Jim, what's your thoughts on the economic reports being released tomorrow? Oh, on Fed buybacks. Well, I think we're going to see more inflation. But I can't tell. It's so tough. I don't like to trade on the inflation data because I have been burned many a time on that. But I do think she's going to walk back some comments about raising the interest rates. But I think they're going to be raised anyways. So I think we're going to see the market start to slow. That's my guess. Oh, hey, Chris. Thoughts on IBM? I haven't done anything with IBM for a while. Let's take a look. IBM. Okay. Well, it's looking pretty decent, and because it's a Dow stock now, even though it's in the computer area, obviously it's a Dow stock, so it's getting a lot of love on the movement from the Nasdaq to the Dow. So that's looking good. And it's got a trending relative strength line that's looking very, very good. This is really interesting. I hadn't really been considering it. It really, though, I would be careful of buying it below this line here because this is the consolidation line. So I would probably not be a buyer, but I would wait probably until it moved above about 158. But it's looking pretty decent. They did have 1% increase in sales. Their profits are still pulling back. So I'm kind of mixed on IBM here. But I do think it's interesting because it's a tech stock, but it's not in the Nasdaq. So that's very interesting. Okay. I hate to tell you this, Liam, but sell Tesla right now because it's probably going to go a little bit lower before it goes higher. So my thought on Tesla, I know you want to hold on to this. A lot of people do. It's very painful when you have to sell stocks at a loss. So this is the reason I do a 7% rule. I think right now the way Tesla is trading, I think you got to sell it for now and wait for another opportunity, because the trend is not good on Tesla. It's moving down, and it's probably going to move lower too. It's moving lower, a little bit lower in after hours, and it's at 668. I suspect we're going to get a bounce right here at about 540. Now, I've been if you've been watching the show any amount of time, you know that I am a Tesla bull, and long term I am. But right now there's this overhead supply here that's got to get worked out, and that's an issue. So I think that, at least for right now, I don't think it's going to be able to hold on to the 50-day moving average, and I think it's going lower. And I think it's probably going to go down to about 540. Now, if you were in it really a long time ago, at the original buy point at 502, then you might consider holding it. But I wouldn't be holding it right now based on this chart. I just, I wouldn't be. I just wouldn't be. I wouldn't be a holder right now of Tesla. I'd be a seller. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean KEX. Okay, let's look at KEX. Thanks. KEX. And that's Kirby. Interesting. Repair. I don't know this company at all. I mean, this company is new. This company is new for me. It really is. So very interesting. Let's kind of look at it to see. There is a buy point on a cup base. This is not the greatest. It's got a relative strength of 70. That's a little bit low for me, but it's interesting. I mean, the main thing is it's in the ship transport area. It's 5 out of 197. So this is actually looking pretty good. I mean, I would have never thought of this one, but you're right. This is in a good group. This is in an interesting group. Let's take a look at the group a little bit more. And that's the ship transportation group. And let me see if I can pull that up. The whole group in general. So let's look at the group ranking. Number 5. Oops, there we go. So the group ranking is number 5, and this is the overall group. Let's kind of see what's in there. Boy, it's 97 relative strength. That's great. Let's look at the top stocks. Well, Zim is the one that's really doing it. Kirby is second, so I definitely like that. And interesting list, our old friend Matson Lines, which is based in Honolulu, Hawaii, is on the list too. So let's look at how Matson is trading. Kind of want to see how they're trading. They're probably trading pretty well. No, they're not trading that well. Sorry. No, they're not. But you know what? This Kirby looks good. It's number 2. I think that looks really good. Let's go back to the KEX chart. KEX. And let's look at, wow, this is a good chart. This is a good chart. I mean, I have to say, it's relatively thin. I mean, I don't normally trade stocks that are this thin. The average daily volume is only 391,900 shares, but I like the looks of this chart. I really do. It's above the 200-day. It's above the 50-day. It's above the 25 day. So it's looking very, very good. It's looking very, very good. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So I think that if you want to be in the shipping group, which is a great group, I think that might be a great place to be. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Hey Jim, thoughts on IBM long term? Well, I haven't traded IBM in years. I mean, I used to trade it, but I haven't traded it in years. I don't know about long term, but the chart surely looks good right now. The chart looks pretty decent right now. Absolutely. And at least let's look at the monthly, and I see. Here's the thing. I mean, it's been going nothing for basically the last 8 or 9 years. It's really been trending lower, but this might be a change in trend. I still think though long term there's a long-term trend downwards, but the question is if it can break this level. The key level for IBM is this 180 level right here. That's where it had its best run, and that was basically back in 2015, and it looks like it's trended lower, but now it looks like it may have reversed. So interesting. Let's look at the weekly chart to see if there's any place that I could find a reversal on this. And really this is the reversal. Basically this is the reversal here. So it definitely has reversed higher. It's definitely reversed higher. Now, it did it on slightly better earnings, but I think the reason for IBM getting this is because of the movement back into the Dow. So I'd be a little bit more careful. I'd be a little bit more careful with IBM, even though it is even though it's a tech stock, but it's not in the Nasdaq. So I'd be a little bit careful. I don't know if I want to go back into IBM right now. Mara is Bitcoin Mara? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, Adam. I don't know all the Bitcoins. There's a lot of Bitcoins out there um, that I don't know. Let's see how the GBTC though. That brings up a question. The way I trade Bitcoin is with using a fund called the GBTC, and they hold about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. And as of late, it's been pulling back. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it's still in the consolidation zone. Um, so as of late, this is how I've been trading it. But right now, at least in the ultra short term, it looks as if most of these coins right now are selling off. Now that may change by the end of the week, but right now the volume is the way that you can tell if Bitcoin, if you see an increase in volume. If you see an increase in volume, it almost is a one-to-one relationship with price, at least in Bitcoin. Not true in stocks, not true in stocks, not true in ETFs, but in Bitcoin, the more volume, the more the price goes up. So if you can see a trend, at least a short-term trend, of a volume spike, that's where you want to jump in, and then immediately when the volume goes away, you want to sell. That's sort of the best way to probably trade a Bitcoin or a another stock like that. So, all right, Miner. I don't know what that is. So a lot of these thinly traded ones, I don't have access to the charts on it. Okay, so thoughts on Unity software? Oh goodness gracious. Unity probably is a short. I'll be honest with you. In the game sector, it's really really good. But I just want to kind of show you this. This was a real high flyer, but I want to show you why this is pulling back the way it's been pulling back. All right. If you'll notice up here, it says computer software and design, 191 out of 197. So this is absolutely in the basement when it comes to the sector of the economy. This sector of the economy right now, at least right now, is being disinvested in. So no matter how well a stock like this does on its earnings, it's probably going to go down. And as you can see, it's going down. So this has got earnings basically in 5 days. So I'm going to probably be shorting this one, okay, because it's a relatively expensive stock, $88, and I suspect that in 14 days it will be less than $88. It may be as low as its IPO price at 52. That's what I'm guessing based on this, but it's a guess. I mean, I can't give you this for sure, but the checklist, it's what's happening is this whole sector is being disinvested in. So Unity software, if you're in this thing, I would sell immediately, and it might be potentially a very good short because it may try to struggle back up to this 50-day line, but I think after that it's probably going to go south. Let's look at the weekly chart. Yeah, so we basically round tripped our money. If we got the IPO at 58, which you probably didn't do, 52, you rode it all the way up, boom, and then you're going to be probably riding it all the way down. So I suspect with Unity, we're looking at probably a drop of about another $30 by the time it's in earnings. I mean, who knows? Even though their profits are up, see, so it doesn't really matter if your sales are up if a sector is being disinvested in. I think that's definitely the case with Unity. So, not. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, and I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be a. I'm not. I'm not trying to be a. A Debbie Downer. VUZI. All right, let's take a look at VUZI. All right, Vizix. And again, this one is interesting too. Their earnings are in 4 days. This is also one that's probably going to drop. I'm going to put this on my list based on the chart. VUZIX, and its symbol is VUZI. So I suspect this one, when it goes through earnings, probably will do poorly, even though it has a relative strength of 59. I do believe we're going to see this one move lower. Yeah, okay, and it's just broken through the support at the 50-day line, and this is where I have my alert. If it moves below this point, is where it's a short. So interesting. This is also a potential. This is a potential bear put spread. This is a potential bear put spread. So hopefully I answered some of the questions there for you on that. All right, let's go to the next question on NIO. Thank you very much, Ralph. Ralph. Let's look at NIO. I think NIO, NIO is in an area that unfortunately the tide is pulling out on this one, and this is the chart on NIO. You just don't want to jump back in on this one. I know this is really kind of weird. You say, well, I could buy it at a bargain, but here's what's going to happen with NIO. It looks like it's bounced once and twice on the 200-day moving average. It looks like it's just pulled right to this. My guess is in the next few days it's going to pull below this 200-day line. So I wouldn't be an investor in NIO right now. I think it's going to be too difficult to I don't think it's probably gonna do that. Has this doggy coin holding 150 coins? I would consider possibly selling your coins right now if you're holding 150 doggy coins, because the volume, at least in the short term, is drying up. So you might want to probably sell half of your coins right now. Hi Jim, could you take a look at Square? Okay, this is coming from to TikTok. By the way, if you're on TikTok and you want to see exactly the screens and everything that I'm using, just jump on over to just jump on over to this address here, youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, and you can see all the charts that I'm using, because I can't show it on I can't show it on TikTok. I can only show it on YouTube, unfortunately. Here's the chart for Square. Square's been pulling back, as you can see, and it's fallen below the 50-day line. Here's the thing: the earnings are due basically tonight. I suspect now it's up after hours, so it might turn around here. It might turn around, but the overall trend of a Square is lower, even though they're going to have very good earnings. So here's the thing. I do think that you got to be super careful with those. It's probably going to have what they call a dead cat bounce. It's going to bounce up a little bit, and then I think it's probably going to move lower. That's my guess on this one. So it's kind of looking at the way it still has a very good checklist, but the problem is the industry group has fallen. It's 146 out of 197. So a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult. And by the way, if you could looking on my my TikTok screen, you see the fertilizer stock is definitely in a buy range. So I suspect that stock that we're looking at that is in a buy range is Mosaic, MOS. And let's just take a look. Yeah, no, I guess no, it's maybe IPI. IPI. And these are very thin stocks. Nope, IPI is not the one. But Mosaic, MOS, I think Mosaic, if you want to be in the fertilizer area, which, not very exciting, but it's moved up after hours, this is the one you want, Mosaic. Okay, let's see. We've got some more. Okay. So, thoughts on Coin. Of course, Coin was the IPO for Coinbase. And if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that I traded this one live. And basically what I did is I bought it at 400, and then I sold it immediately about 5 minutes later at 420, and I haven't touched it since. This has been sort of a disappointment, but it's no surprise because of the way the market's been trading. The chart for Coinbase, the daily chart, has been essentially down. It's it's sort of headed towards the seller there, And I have not traded this one, uh, since. But I think this is probably gonna go lower. Earnings are in 7 days. It's not really in the best area right now. Computer software financial right now has dropped as a sector to 190 out of 197. So this sector is not being invested in; it's being disinvested in. So you got to be careful. I would not buy this before earnings. I wouldn't buy this one. Period. I just wouldn't buy this one. Period. Even though the Coinbase business is just going gangbusters, but I wouldn't be buying this one. It's just too dangerous, unfortunately. All right. Okay. Next question. How to hedge your portfolio in a cheap way? Like I have stocks from all over, from penny stocks. Okay, you can't really hedge penny stocks because there's no options available. So the best way to hedge your penny stocks is to sell them, and then you have like Palantir and Plug. These are all going to get hit. Every one of these. So how do you hedge them on a weekly basis? The best thing to do, especially if you look to see where the market is moving. And right now, the market is moving away from stocks, like you said. Anything that's in the sort of the tech area is having a lot of difficulty right now. So, what I would consider doing is I would consider possibly selling a lot of my stocks out that are in the tech area because they're probably going to go lower. Now, if you can take the hit, then I would do it. But I am almost totally out of tech. What I'm doing is I've been doing bear put spreads. And by the way, I'll show you how I do on this if you get on the Action Trade Alerts. And by the way, I do have a Discord service where I walk through some of these trades. But basically, what's happening is this area is getting disinvested. So you're not going to really be able to hedge a portfolio like that. It's just going to probably go lower, at least in the short term. So that's my answer. And I know that's not the answer you want to hear. And I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be at all disagreeable here. So please, I'm not trying to be disagreeable, but I just think right now, at least the way the market's trading, you want to be really, really careful if you're in things like Plug Power and companies like that. A few months ago, those were very good. Right now, not so much. And then we come back, but right now the market is selling off the techs. It's buying the hard assets. The hard assets being the oil and gas stocks, the fertilizer stocks, the shipping stocks, those kind of things. That's what's being bought right now. So let me see if I can get into. I guess I can't get into ALP. It doesn't let me in. Let me see. So I can get ALP. Is that right? ALPP? No, it says it isn't. Let me see if it's just ALP. No, I'm afraid, Adam. I'm afraid that's too thinly traded stock. That's probably a penny stock, so probably can't do anything there. Nikola, NKLA. This is really a dog. NKLA, and yeah, Nikola Corporation. This is sort of like Luckin Coffee last year, which is a fraud, of course. It was sort of a Chinese-like Starbucks company that was a total fraud. This is sort of in the same category. Currently, it's trading at $10.22. I don't see I don't see any future for this one. This one, if it has options, this might be a very good thing to buy some puts in because, as you can see, it has a relative strength of 1, and it's just going down. So, this was a sucker's bet. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Everybody got in, wrote it up, very nice, boom. Then the sheep were all slaughtered, and they're going to get slaughtered some more. So I wouldn't be in Nikola. This one was the fraudulent electric truck company that for some reason General Motors did a deal with, and then they looked under the covers and they're like, "Oops, this is not the way to. This is not a good thing to be in." So I just think you got to be out of Nikola. It's just not where you want to be. It's just not where you want to be. So let's take a look at some of the questions from TikTok, as I have been probably neglecting. What about SNDL? This is a question from Matt. Let's look at SNDL. SNDL and Sundial Growers. Okay, this is a marijuana stock. Here's I've been so negative. I sound like I'm just negative Nelly here, but Sundial Growers, this is a bad chart. I mean, here's the problem with marijuana stocks. It sounds so great. It's sort of like it's sort of like people have said that I kind of look like the guy on Family Guy, which I admit I kind of do. I need to lose a few lbs here, but Peter Griffin, I kind of look like Peter Griffin, I guess, for a lot of people. Well, this is kind of like the idea of investing in pot stocks is like that. It's like, wow, I would love to be in a business where I could just smoke some doobies all day. But I think that this is just not a good area. There's oversupply. If you go to places like Oregon, everybody's growing pot, and so the prices aren't really that great. So here's the chart for Sundial Growers. It's basically going to break below the 200-day line. When that happens, this thing will be run for the exits. It's going to look very ugly. It's going to look very, very ugly if it breaks below that. If it breaks below that, and I think that's probably in this phase is probably going to happen. So that's kind of the that's kind of what I'm thinking about Sundial. So I think he has to be super duper careful in that area. Well, I have come to almost an hour, everybody. But if you'd like to get on the Action Trade Alert, it's very easy to do. This is a free deal. If you want to kind of take a look at sort of some of the trades that I put out there, some of the bear trades that I put out there, you can take kind of a look see at the at the disc. It doesn't give you access to the Discord, but it gives you some of the trades that are outside of the paywall, and you might want to take a look at it. It's www.vinny.com/Dallas Trading Floor. Actually, it's vinny.u. I think I should. Oh, I didn't. Let me. I noticed that I gave you some wrong information there. Yeah, there we go. So let's save it. So basically, where you want to go is vinny.com/u/Dallas Trading Floor. And I do have some trades out there that you might still be able to get in on. So and I put them up all the time. I put free trades in them. But for obviously, if you're a member of the Action Trade Alerts, you can definitely get you can definitely get some more information on it. Okay, I'm sorry. I call this is tough. I mean. So few people say sell a cover call. I like selling cover calls, but only with stocks. Right now, I have some large positions in Apple. I don't think Apple is going to deteriorate from here, but I think it's going to trade in the range. So I'm selling covered calls on my Apple shares, and I've continued to hold the Apple shares. But Apple is a very strong stock, and even though it's in the tech area. And even though it's fallen a lot, you see 180 out of 197, Apple is still holding pretty firm. Now I'm going to be reducing my positions at Apple. As you can see, it's just having a lot of trouble about a 130 level. My average cost is about 128 or so. So I'm gradually lowering my exposure to Apple. But that is a way that you can do it, is with is doing it with that, by selling covered calls. That's a great way to do it. And so, yeah, that's definitely a way you can do it. Well, I have wasted another hour of your time. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30 Central. And with some more stuff on Friday, getting ready for next week. There's going to be some more earnings next week, and hopefully I'll have some earnings ideas for you tomorrow. But for right now, happy trading, and we're in a very tough market. Reduce your overall position. I would recommend being at least 50% in cash. I'm at about 65% in cash right now myself. I mean, you need a little bit of exposure to the market, but you don't want to get skinned either. So that's kind of my take on it. So until tomorrow, happy